My name is Chief Martin Glin, son of the Tolan traditional area here, and that's in northern Ghana, where I am over helping the development of a community and building a diasporan community. And I do that along with my beautiful wife right here.
And I am Queen Mother, Sabrina Glin.
So we started coming to northern Ghana, and that was about right at 4 years ago. And the North is traditional, it's cultural, and it's key for Black Americans because that's where a lot of us, our ancestors, actually are from the North. So we started coming to the North, helping with different aspects of development. So we have a farming initiative, real estate, um, and teaching like skills and business. So the North, it needs more development than the rest of the country. So we connected with the people here, and after coming back and forth, and we do the Cultural Oneness Festival, we decided to relocate and bring the family. Yeah, first, she actually came and experienced. So she came herself, during the festival, experienced it, of course, Accra, and then up north here in northern Ghana, and she had her own experience. And it's a spiritual awakening, and it's a very soul touching experience when you go to the slave camps and you see how our ancestors were done. So it impacted her, and I'm gonna let her tell you a little about that.
Okay, so it was years of him and Tango handling business together. And he was talking to me about this idea of business with them creating the Taste of Africa. And I'm like, okay, I'm a very supportive wife, especially if it makes sense. And so I'm like, okay, just do you. And so when I came, I was actually able to receive a broader perspective on how deep this was and how needed it was. And it really took me on a spiritual healing journey of my own, to be honest. And so when I saw what he was doing, even though I always knew like what he's doing here is, I'm not like, it's literally exactly what he's always said he was going to do. And so to see him be who he is and to walk in the light, it just was empowering for me because it's like, oh, you are exactly who I always thought you were, because this have been the mission he's been working on ever since we met. And that's actually how we even came together. And so our marriage was always based on this mission and this purpose that we are here to fulfill. And so unlike most couples, we didn't get married for love. We got married for mission and for purpose. And so seeing him work in that purpose and be in that purpose, it also inspired me. But when I came here, I had my own spiritual awakening, going to the slave camps and feeling that energy. I cried. I couldn't hold back the tears. I was very emotional about it. And then I saw the way that the people was living. And yes, you see poverty, you see a little, what we say lack, but then you also see a lot of innovative, what we call in America, they know how to nigger rig things. And so I was like, wow, that's empowering. And so my first time here, I was honored to be able to watch my husband to become skinned as a chief. And that was a very big deal. Like, he wasn't trying to become a chief. He wasn't asking for the title. It just was instilled upon him, and we feel like it was ancestral. Like, the ancestors called us home for this to happen. And even though I had my own fears about it, not because I'm against it, it's just I didn't understand it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm a person. Tell me what this about. What does this mean? How is this going to affect our life? How is it going to affect our children? Like, what does it mean for you to actually be this? How is that going to affect our, like our everyday living? And he didn't have any answers for me. But only thing he was like, I'm just trusting the ancestors, but I'm not going to make a move unless, I have your blessings too. And so I'm like, okay, let's do this. And we went through the whole ceremony. And I'm like, even if you watch the pictures of the ceremony, I was very uncomfortable because I was scared, because nothing was in our language. I wasn't understanding it, but I kept calling on the ancestors, the God, the Most High, the universe was like, help me understand this. Like, if this is not what you want from me, give me signs, show me. And everything kept leading up to showing that this was the right thing to do. And so we went home, and when we went home, I really was like, oh, I'm home now. Like, so I had no idea that it was going to lead to us moving here. But in the course of that, the world started changing even more rapidly than it already was. And so it just made better sense for us and for the mission and the purpose of what Chief is here to do for us to move here, especially with the Cultural Oneness Festival. We can't do it to the best of our ability being in Alabama. And with the building of the schools, Masternomics non-center, we can't do that to the best of our ability living in Alabama. And so it really made sense for not only us, the betterment of our children, the world, but it also made sense of fulfilling the purpose and the mission of why we are here on this earth. Obviously, I made it through, but I'm not gonna sit here and fake the funk with you, sister. It was a very challenging time. We both felt spiritually led to come here. Like with us coming home, it was bigger than even just finances. Like, we felt like this is exactly what we was being guided to do from a higher power. And so when I came, and in the midst of that, we went even through some challenges within the country itself of people not keeping their word with us. And so we lost a little money even when we came, but it was just part of the challenge. But in the process of that challenge, I would say at first it was like I called him and I cried and I was like, I don't know if I'm built for this. Like, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, like I just want to go home. And he breathed it out and he just let me vent. And he didn't say anything at the moment. But then he ended up calling me back like that night, late that night. And he just was pretty much like, baby, you built for this. Like, you got this. We're in this together. I can't do this without you. Like he just consoled me like he always do. So he reminded me of the mission and the purpose. And so even when I have moments now that I miss home or miss foods or things like that, it's always the mission, the purpose that keep me grounded. And so me being here is bigger than me. She's being here is bigger than him. And so what keep us grounded is the fact that missing some food more important than the mission itself. Not experiencing lights out sometime or low water challenges sometimes, that more important than the mission itself. So we have to ask ourselves, like, what's the most important thing? Just like in our marriage, even when our marriage have challenging times, we focus on the mission, and that's what keep us strong. That's what keep us grounded. Yeah, welcome to Ghana.
It's alignment. So if we know we're purpose and we have that purpose that permeates us, and that's to raise people's consciousness. Because we're black skin and we're dealing with our people primarily, we want to raise their consciousness and help them shift their thinking and change their mindset. So we're here to leave good impressions, but also do things, but also be the best husband, be the best wife, be the best partner, be the best parents. So really, it's like we always focus on being the best versions of ourselves, and then that radiates to people outward. Now, in doing that, especially in teaching young people, we're teaching people at the university or online. You're gonna hear people's problems, everyday problems and things like that. But you have to kind of help, but then block out, because you'll start to take on their problems. The best thing you can do is teach somebody how to take care of themselves. So if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for one day. But if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. So like my wife, she works a lot with young women, helping them overcome the challenge that they have as being females in this world. In some ways, society pushes masculinity and things like that, but she can't take on so much of the problems as I always tell her, and vice versa. That's my perspective, and to give you hers. What you think?
I fully agree. And so in order to be able to stay focused on the mission and the purpose, you always have to be grounded. You have to be aligned. You have to have some type of spiritual values that keep you in alignment and grounded with who you are and your mission and your purpose. And so we have to have those daily reminders. And so, and even we are each other's support system. And so we're bigger than husband and wife. Like I said, we're life partners. And so we're accountability partners as well. And so we feel each other. Like, I promise you, most of the time I know what he's thinking. He know what I'm thinking. He's like, I can feel your energy. We know when we get weak, when our energy's getting low. We know when we're excited. We know when we even feeling like good. Like, we can feel each other very, very well. And so, like him, if he takes on a lot because he's handling business in multiple parts of the world. And so with him being, when he gets so overloaded with so much, and I can feel him. And so a lot of times I speak that life back into him. I remind him of who he is. I remind him, baby, let's go meditate. Or, I massage his temples. I do things to help him come back to himself. It's because I've mastered these practices, because these practices healed me. It's just like, I feel like an accountability, like besides being grounded and aligned, you do need an accountability partner. You need, because we came in this world for each other. And so I'm just grateful that I'm not on this journey, because it is such a big purpose and mission that I'm so grateful that the ancestors, that the universe, that God aligned this union so that we're not in this by ourselves, because this is my partner in real life. And it goes so much deeper than finance, money, marriage, any of that. Like, this is my true best friend. And so I found myself through him, and he found himself through me. Like, we literally keep each other grounded. And so, yes.
Yes. It's oneness. The key word is oneness. And when I was talking about the community supporting, it's basically come out and represent who you are. When you see that the key is economics. If you want to build and develop this part of Africa, it's going to take economics, it's going to take money. So we have the businesses, those are the vendors, but we needed the people themselves to come out and buy from those people that have bought into this concept. So we wanted the chiefs, we want everyone to come out and support to keep this going. Cultural Oneness is actually, the festival is bigger than Northern Ghana. It's a festival for Africa. The beautiful thing is, as you see, we have kings from other countries that actually came in a part of this festival. So we know it's getting out there, but we want the local community to actually actively get involved in sustaining themselves and being a part of this. So yes, it is an investment. I mean, just like you said, we're putting out, but there is a return. We have land that's been allocated to us. This is stuff that we would never had we not done this festival. I'm a chief. I didn't, start coming to Ghana and say, hey, one day I want to become a chief. I did not ask to become a chief. This is what just flowed by me being in service, right? And so we want the people to learn that service is the key. Service is everything. It's like Africa, it's going to call you. So it's an ancestral calling. So I just want to tell the people, just support. Your support can just gather and spread the word. Come out, be a part of this oneness. See what it's about. I tell the continental Africans, study our history. What happened to the black man and black woman in America. How did we overcome slavery? Study our great teachers and thinkers. Don't just go off what they teach you in school. Let's study, how we built civilization prior to slavery. Because therein lies the keys to who we are. That's the essence of us. That's the greatness. That's the God in us. That's our ancestors that's in us. So it's oneness. It's us coming together. Yes, it is hard, but the reward is so fulfilling. And honestly, I make money. I've made a lot of money. We don't do this festival for money. We do it for purpose. And the purpose, you see what it's doing. Getting land to be able to be that bridge and to bring us together. So that's what keeps me going when we just exhausting all the resources and we paying for everything. But it's that knowing that we are succeeding, knowing we're on the path of success. That's what keeps us going.
We are simultaneously doing the work in Alabama, and so it's not that we gave up on Alabama or the mission or the purpose there. It's just that's not all of who we are. That's just where, that's the pit stop of where we ended up being. But I feel in my soul that I know for a fact my ancestry came from Africa. Well, it's where it's impossible for mankind to be here without Africa. And so, like, we've always been connected with Africa in some way, somehow. Like, even before we decided to move here, before he linked up with Tango, we've always been passionate about teaching about the truth and history of who we were, how we wasn't slaves. We was kings, we was queens, we was architecture, we was mathematicians. See, I'm having tongue ties because, just moving so fast. But, we come from greatness. and it started from here. And so slavery is not our history. That was the interruption.
So Tango kept in mind is my partner. You know, I'm from America, born in the U.S., lived all over. But we connected through a mutual friend. This is about 6 years ago. I had never been to Africa anywhere. And so we connected. I used to be in promotions and entertainment. And so Tango likewise was in promotion and entertainment. So we connected and we were doing some promotions business by the phone. But he always kept saying, you need to come to Ghana. You need to come experience it yourself. And I just decided to make that investment. Came home to Ghana, and we just built this company, The Taste of Africa, that is about music, arts, and entertainment to bring Black people together, people of African descent together all over the world. So that's how we created what's called The Taste of Africa, which is the company, and then that spawned the Cultural Oneness Festival. So I look at Tango as like a brother from another mother. It's like we have the same vision. I'm just born in America, and he's born here. So it just clicks. When you think about connecting your history and your culture, you're connecting with Africa. So once people in America, period, whether it's any of the 50 states, if you're Black and you connect back with the source, so to speak, your ancestral source, then that's helping you be the best version of yourself. So we can build Black Wall Streets. We can build, our communities. We live in neighborhoods in America. So if we knew we come from culture, that spirituality and things, and this reverence for the woman and things, how we look at each other, then that would help us have communities in America. So it's not like we just abandoned the United States. It's a connection. That's kind of like what Marcus Garvey was talking about. That we want to be a bridge. At the same time, Africa has resources and it has land, and here you have more freedom. In America, we say we have freedom, but it's an illusionary freedom, right? And so here we have the freedom to come and have land and build communities. So we're not saying everybody, just all Black people, leave America, but we're saying if you have an interest and you want to invest and you want to come and be a part of it, you want to help build communities and have a place where you can raise your family and raise your children, and you can be who you are by nature, then come home.